and good Thursday morning. I'm your friend Scotty Ray. I think we got all our ducks lined up in a row now as we begin another day. Beautiful outside, 53 right now. We'll get into about 85, 86 today for that high temperature, but perfect weather for whatever you're doing, except one thing, that's burning. Let's don't do that. We'll get into the forecast here in just a little bit as the National Weather Service asks us not to. North of here, it's a little bit worse as you get into northern Mississippi and the Mississippi Delta. But still, there's many grass fires. I've gotten many messages from local volunteer fire departments asking you not to because, well, it's busy. We had a couple instances last night, yesterday afternoon, that could have went bad, but they've been able to keep all this stuff out. It's just dry. How are you today? Here in a little while, we're hoping to get some more information from the Lauderdale County Sheriff's Department. I will tell you they were on the job last night and stopped a crime. And we're waiting for details on that this morning. Hopefully we'll have that in just a little bit and we'll be able to tell you more about it beginning at 8 o'clock. So a good job there. Went above and beyond the call of duty last night to, take some criminals down. I'm proud of that. We'll get into that. A few things that went on yesterday afternoon. I was out and about last night as well. Got to see a few things. Let me see what's happening this morning. Let's see. First off, we need to mention a few things that are going to be going on in the community that I hadn't got a chance to share with you lately. Midway Baptist Church, have we brought this up lately? It's going to have their fall festival. That's going to be on the 16th from 5 until 7. They'll have inflatables and a lot of things for the kids. It's always good to do that. And the next thing you know, we're going to be having all this coming up with Halloween. As we go to Clark County, they're going to have their candy crawl beginning on the 20th at 5:30 until 7:30, West Church Street, downtown Quitman. Hope you can make it out and bring the kids to that. That's going to be a lot of fun also as we look at that. Let's see. We also, Queen City, Meridian. Let's talk a bit about it and what they're going to be having. Now, there is a big parade coming up in Meridian. This is going to be on the 22nd. It starts at 6 p.m. $100 for best overall. Check it out. It ought to be fun. Metro Distributing, a big part of that. Hope you can be a part of it and come to Meridian to enjoy that. And also, Meridian will have their candy crawl coming up. Here it is. Let's see. Hit the right button there on Tuesday, October the 25th. Yeah. Also, the Meridian Police Department is going to have theirs. Also, I'm trying to figure out where I put that. Here it is. Here's the Meridian Police Department. They're going to have their trunk or treat. This will be on the 27th from 5:30 until 7:30. Now, I got a couple of more, if I am not mistaken. A family fun night will be at Northeast Lauderdale High School also as we look at this. This is going to happen until 5 until 8 o'clock. They'll have a little haunted house there. Community, yeah, come out and check that out. And if I am not mistaken, Collinsville First Baptist Church will also have one also. It's going to be their fall festival. It will kick off at 5 and run until 7:30. There's something about this time of year that when you get into, is it chilly? Just really makes it this time of year. I hope you can do that. Oh, and I also wanted to bring up, this is big. MCC does this every year. Their candy cruise, where you come through, you don't have to get out of your car, and they hand out candy to the kids. A great thing. Maybe you can make it out to that. Always a big line of folks wanting to do that. Hope you'll enjoy that. Well, I missed one. How could I have done that? Trunk or Treat is coming also to Northeast Park Planet Playground. Games, food, inflatables. That's going to be 3 to 5 on the 30th. So if you've got one of these and we don't know about it yet, please pass along that information to us so we can share that with others. I'm sure that we'll get in some more there and be able to tell you about it. Wait a minute. When I was about to wrap that up, I just discovered Decatur also sent us theirs. Monday, October the 31st. They'll be doing theirs from 5 until 7 at the East Mississippi Community Campus there. Ought to be fun there. Hope you can check out all of those. How you feel today? Hope good. Everybody's got a smile. We'll get into some more information on all that in a moment. And as we've started our new feature, I hope you'll listen to this. This is really good as we invite Brother Ben to take over for just a second. A message on whether, the meek shall inherit the earth. I hope this touches a spot for you as we go out to Collinsville First Baptist.
Have you ever heard that the meek shall inherit the earth? Jesus said that in Matthew 5:4. Now, to be meek doesn't mean that you are weak or wimpy. Meekness is choosing to bring your strength under self-control so that you can be gentle to others. Now, when the world hears that, they say, "Are you crazy? The meek will be torn to shreds. The meek will conquer nothing." But Jesus never said the meek will conquer the earth. No, the meek will inherit the earth. They don't have to take it by force because God will give it to them. You see, the meek can be gentle because God is almighty. And by God's might, they'll inherit the earth. Blessed are the meek. Change begins in you.
The Change Begins in You is brought to you in part by Piggly Wiggly of Collinsville, Patrick Allen Companies, Mitchell Tire and Wrecker in Collinsville, and Mowdy Cabinetry. And he's right. The change does begin in you and me, and, well, that's how we all make the world a better place, isn't it? As we start this morning with a small car chase last night. A few blocks, but it's worth mentioning there's Meridian Police Department had some folks that just didn't want to start. Started there on 40th Avenue and 36th Street, and by the time they got to the end, they would have their culprits. Tow truck and all. Get you a free ride somewhere. No one was hurt, thank goodness on that. We had out in the Bailey community. I'm telling you, those boys don't get much sleep when it comes to volunteer fire departments. And if you're watching and you remember this, or you have a family member, you know what I mean. But we had a car catch on fire just off Barnhill Road last night. The Bailey Volunteer Fire Department responded to that as we pulled this up. It would be where Ernest White, Dabbs Road, Fellowship Road, all of that meets. And you can come in from that section there from Barnhill Road. As you come in, here's King Road. All this joins into Pine Springs, and you get down here. A little fire there. So that was taken care of. I think the car was completely lost. No word yet as to what caused that. But thank heavens no one was hurt, and it was finally eventually put out by the time the police department got there. As we heard from our district attorney yesterday, and maybe this is starting to be a trend, this is where we need to start. I support this, of people who do crimes that, well, they do it time and time and time again. Have you read the article on this? We released it yesterday afternoon as we got word from the district attorney that this had taken place in Meridian. As we look here, Travis Ray Connor has been sentenced to life without parole for first-degree murder. Now, as you'll go back and read this stems back, I believe, to 2018. A violent habitual offender. It took 3 days for the jury to convict. First-degree murder for killing Danica Clark. That is a strong message. Life without parole. Maybe this will deter others from doing such crimes. We certainly hope so. Read all about that. We've got that on sammedia.network. You can read that more and get all the details on that. That's the second conviction that we've got in the last few weeks. Life without parole. Strong, isn't it? I hope that hits home with criminals there. As we look around, this does happen occasionally, more often than I would like for it to. But we did have an incident yesterday afternoon of a hit and run. And when I say hit and run, you go, well, what do you mean? Someone struck by a car. And that was the case here. As we look at this, a pedestrian was struck at a business there at 1180, and whoever did it drove off. Now, the wounds, I don't believe, were life-threatening, but still, if you bump someone, stop. Bad, bad, bad. Everybody's going to be okay in the end. They're sore, I'm sure, this morning, but not a good thing to do that. That happened yesterday afternoon. We did, as we mentioned, brush fires. We had one yesterday in the Meridian vicinity. As we go here to take a look, I'm telling you, it was volunteer firemen and folks everywhere that showed up to Sam Lackey Road yesterday afternoon as a fire broke out right there next to the storage containers. I don't know where I'm talking about there. That was extinguished and everything was okay. Don't like those. We had held up traffic for quite some time yesterday afternoon. Highway 19. Maybe you saw this. You come along and all of this. A wreck happened right there by the back porch of Meridian and the Dollar General before you get to State Boulevard. This would involve a Mississippi Highway Patrol car. As you'll see, the accident here where this car was struck. As we back up, this car was also involved, and another car would flip over. Turn over. There were no life-threatening injuries involved with it. We do hope everybody has a speedy recovery. Usually from a wreck, you're sore the next day than you were the day that it happened. But thank heavens no loss of life happened there. I do believe someone was arrested as it came to be what known with that. Hopefully we'll get some more details on that. I think 2 people were taken into custody before it was all said and done. But that happened on Highway 19. Well, I had a lot of people going, what in the world is going on? Cops were coming. And it did involve Mississippi Highway Patrol officer. A lot of cops that were in the neighborhood, they always respond when an officer is involved. Tragedy this morning. I don't even know how to say this. One of the times is supposed to be fun. You're leaving the central portion of Mississippi, headed to Cruisin on the Coast. And somewhere along Wiggins, Mississippi, yesterday afternoon, a couple were involved in an accident. Their 1957 Chevrolet totaled, and a 67-year-old lady lost her life in that wreck. Someone pulled out in front of them, and there was no way to stop in time. A horrible tragedy as they were going to have a good time in Mississippi. We turn next to a story, Rankin County, which is Jackson area. And as I read into this and found out more, someone would be accused of stabbing their roommate. Roommate, what do you mean by that? Well, it's somebody that's most likely dating in some shape, form, or way a domestic issue between a man and a woman. At the end of it, a man was stabbed several times. A woman has been arrested. She was upset, to say the least. Do y'all remember the student that went missing at Ole Miss a few months back? There was lots of talk of it as they looked for a body. They looked for someone, and nothing was really told for days, and then an arrest happened. They do have someone in custody. His attorney is demanding that he be released. Lack of evidence, no body, and they say you can't tie us to the case. He's been incarcerated since all of that happened. We'll see what happens on this. It hasn't gone before the judge. We'll see if that does. But they're right. There has been nobody found. Highly suspicious, I believe. Something to do with the van, if you'll remember. But they do not have a body or hard evidence from what we know. Now, there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes that we'll never know, that attorneys and lawyers all know. But they are asking that he be released. We'll watch this and see if he is. Maybe there's more evidence than they're telling everyone. There may be enough there to hold him. We'll see what they have to say. Madison, Mississippi, that area there, traffic stop. And this hurts my heart because I know so many of you have pets and you think of them as, well, family members. Love them to death, do anything for them. They pulled somebody over, did a traffic stop, didn't give a signal of whatever it was. Several animals were in the vehicle. They arrested him for animal cruelty. Had several pups in the truck that were malnourished, mistreated. He was taken to jail. I have to give credit to Mississippi Today, who has been on the agenda for tracking this scandal when nobody else would in Mississippi over the welfare scandal. They kept talking about it when everybody else turned a blind eye. You know what I mean by that, a blind eye? Just, we're not talking about that. We don't need to. Well, they kept it up. Kept on. Shad White is the one who broke the case. And as we get into this, as we find out that money was misused, there's no doubt about it, millions used where it shouldn't have been. Mississippi is not the only state, and they go into this, only back to 2016, of families that are on hardship that get above and beyond, that get a little cash. Only 1.5% of Mississippians get that, of all of those that apply for help. But yet the money was used for areas that it wasn't supposed to be when there were families that needed a little help. Texas also is right in there with Mississippi, is what they're trying to point out of. Not everybody is a proof of this. They're very cautious. That's fine and dandy if the money is being used appropriately. If there was no money, I understand that. But when we're taking money and not giving it to those who need it, misusing it, y'all know where I'm going with that. A Brandon man has been arrested. This just doesn't get any sicker than this, and y'all know it as well as I do. Exploitation of a child. It's his second time. Maybe the judge will be fed up with this and he'll get a sentence on that. But that's Brandon, Mississippi. Scary character. There's folks like that among us. We all know that. Yesterday, traffic was held up in Hattiesburg, if you happen to be that way. A truck was making a turn. What happened? The load wasn't secured. As y'all all know this, who's ever been around any yard where trucks are loaded, secure the load. They didn't. The lumber went all in the highway, everywhere. Now, I don't know what a load of lumber is worth, but that's a lot of money these days. Took them about 3 hours to get all of that cleared up. It blocked traffic there in Hattiesburg. Busy little town, too. Didn't need that to take over. Don't you hate it when someone takes a little bit of the truth and tries to, well, twist it, so to speak? Surveys are out, and what they do, who has the fastest restaurant survey, who takes care of their customers. And overall, most people agree that when it comes to fast food, that Chick-fil-A is the fastest. They always got a smile and they take care of you. Well, you get into this survey is released, and then they backtrack within the thing. They're trying to say that someone is a little faster than Chick-fil-A. They're trying to give the crown to Kentucky Fried Chicken, is what they're trying to say. But when you break it down, it says, however, in the complete line, Chick-fil-A was quicker. It doesn't make sense. They were trying to give credit for something that, well, wasn't exactly true. Maybe it was speed time of handing a cup out a window quicker or something. But at the end of a long line, Chick-fil-A still gets you your food quicker. We all know that. Go sit in a line. It's called manipulating it. That's exactly what that is. They tried. This is the first time we've had this happen in 5 years in the state of Mississippi. Have you seen all of this? West Nile disease. We now have another death in the state of Mississippi. It was reported in Panola County. The first time in 5 years we've had that. Kind of spooky, isn't it? I'd forgotten all about that thing, the West Nile virus. I don't need that. Was it mosquitoes, am I right, that had that? It's been so long since I even studied up on that. Hancock County, Mississippi, as what happened yesterday. Fortunately, ours in the Meridian area was not a death involved, but we go to Hancock County, a hit and run. Guys arrested for running over somebody with a bicycle that was on a bicycle. Person passed away on that. Hancock County Sheriff's Department arrested a man there, Christopher Peterson, charged with felony hit and run and causing a death. Tragedy happening here in our state of Mississippi. This next one, a man of the cloth. They're supposed to be trustworthy, someone that you go to during your time of your weakest point. That's what pastors are for. We all know that there are a few across America that, well, they're not the best. Some slip through the cracks. Most clergymen are the greatest folks that ever walked the face of the earth. But every now and then there's a bad one. We have one. A pastor has been indicted for sex crimes in Mississippi and Alabama. He went as far as to tell his victims that he could choose whether they go to heaven or hell. Now, I think we all know the answer to that. There's one person that controls that. The way, the light. If you don't know what I'm talking about, pick up a book. It'll tell you all that. It's called the Bible. It has the rest of the stories. Paul Harvey would tell us, no one on this earth can make that decision or get you to any of those places. Don't let anybody ever fool you. It doesn't happen that way. Let's see, as we look here, a manhunt has ended after 2 teens were shot. One person was dead. Boy, this is just ongoing. Jefferson County is where this happened. 2 teens were arrested after one person was shot. We've seen this coming up in ball games across Mississippi a lot. We've seen it in Alabama. More and more as juveniles get involved. I don't know whether, and we touched on this yesterday morning. What is leading to this uptick? Is it gangs? And does the gangs lead, is it broken homes that lead people to gangs to where there's not father figures in every home to stop the males from joining these gangs? What is it? Whatever the problem is, we need to get a grip on it nationwide, especially in our community. Things happen in other places, but we have to take a step forward in our community first. Someone was found dead in a hotel yesterday in Mississippi. Natchez, Mississippi. A 36-year-old man was found in his hotel room. Police are investigating this. It was found a little after 1 o'clock yesterday afternoon. We don't know the cause of death yet, but they are investigating. Could be a heart attack. It may not be anything. We'll wait to see what happened. Vicksburg. multiple cars broken into, at least 4 to 5 pistols were taken. What happened? Cars were left unlocked. This happened late yesterday afternoon. I had gone out to Meridian last night. That was a great event, by the way, there at the Shriners. The Meridian Police Department put that on. But as I came back in and was putting together the video and everything, I saw, have you seen this story this morning at the University of Arizona? This happened yesterday. A former student busted into the college and shot a professor dead. There is just it's morals. Where has it gone? Why do people think that it's okay to do something like this? It puzzles me. It scares me. Should you also? We've got your forecast on the way next. Stay with us. We'll tell you all about it. If every time the wind blows you get a little leery about a tree over your house, talk to my friends at Reed Tree Service. There's no reason to be worried about a tree crashing through your house. Mike Reed has years of experience dealing with trees. It can be as simple as having a limb removed or a tree that is just huge too close to your shop or house. It's not going to cost you anything to have Mike come out and give you an estimate. They're licensed and insured, taking care of East Mississippi and West Alabama. Reed Tree Service. Have tree, will travel. The Precast Group, offering you the best selection when it comes to a storm shelter. Located on 145 South in Meridian, where they offer above-ground shelters that can be installed in your home as you're building it, are conveniently located right outside your home if it's already built. They also offer storm shelters that can be installed in a slight bank or on flat ground. Protect your family today with a very affordable storm shelter from the Precast Group. Highway 145 South, 601-482-0003. The Precast Group. Welcome back. Already 6:52 as you're starting your day. 53 right now as we climb toward that high in the 80s. Let's get into that forecast now.
Your forecast is brought to you by EMEPA, your Touchstone Energy Cooperative.
As we glance at radar this morning, we go over to Meridian Honda radar. You'll see, well, not really a lot going on in Mississippi. It's beautiful. You can't complain about that. We got this smidgen of fog showing up right barely there west of Poplarville in the state of Mississippi. Otherwise, look at the weather for Cruisin the Coast. Perfect weather, nothing to complain about. A little bit of fog there in Bama, Monroe, Louisiana popping in, and around Birmingham. Gadsden area has a little bit, and always Charleston, West Virginia is covered in fog this morning as we look at that. A few showers there in Indianapolis. Out west, we see a few showers there in northern Texas and back in toward the Santa Fe area as you get into Albuquerque. Nothing major, though. We'll look at the hurricane situation, what's going on with the tropics this morning. That's up and coming in just a moment there as we dig deeper into this to find out what's happening. All right, let's look at this and what we've got. Record highs and record lows today.
Your forecast is brought to you by EMEPA, your Touchstone Energy Cooperative.
1954 set a record of 95 degrees. A warm day it was. I don't remember this. Maybe you do. 2010, it was 38 degrees on this morning. That would be 12 years ago. A little over a decade. Woo! Time's flying, isn't it? As we look across today, we got 84 to 85 for the Meridian area, depending upon where you are. As we go north through Philadelphia, the same thing. Maybe about 83 at Columbus Air Force Base today. We'll hit 85 down in Hattiesburg. As we go east, Tuscaloosa, get ready, 83 degrees. Not bad at all. 82 there in Demopolis. And we'll see about the same thing in Livingston, hovering right at 83 degrees today if you're going to be over at Livingston. As we cut across again, fire departments urge this, National Weather Service urging this not to burn. It gets a little worse as you get into Winston County, northern, as you get into Noxubee County there, right around Macon, all the way up to Stark, Vegas, those areas, back over to Vicksburg. Really don't burn anything. It's just too dry. As we break down and look at what's coming, we're above average with this 80 right now. We got a cool snap that's out to our west, making its way barely into Texas now. We'll have that in a few days, we hope. Here's our 7-day outlook as we drag this in today to take a look at what for you to expect. I like cooler weather, and I think we're really headed there. Today, 83, 84 as we back down off of the radar is what they're claiming. 0% chance of rain tonight. We'll get down to 58. Kind of perfect. By tomorrow, to end the week, we're at 84 with a low of 56. Over the weekend, 70-degree weather. It's going to be great. 76 on Saturday, low of 50. So we could have that 49-degree weather there, possibly when we get up on Sunday morning. 76 for high on Sunday, low it's identical. As we head back to work, we'll still hover at 79 on Monday, 83 by midweek. Not bad at all, is it? Now, let's go another week into this and look at what that graph shows. All right, we dropped to the 70s, and here's that cool snap that we saw that was starting to enter Texas. As it makes its way to Mississippi there on the 18th, we'll be at 72 for a high. Now, I'm not going to complain about that at all. Perfect. Here's our chance, and again, it's not a whole lot there, but it's the best we got to offer a deer hunter at this point. Monday the 17th, a 45% chance of rain. We got a chance on the 13th there. So you've got your choices there as we look at getting the seed in the ground, dropping it on Wednesday, getting a little rain on it, possibly there. 40% chance is the biggie there. Your next chance will be a 45% on the 17th. So you can put your seed in the ground on Sunday and hit it. Take your chances. That's all we've got to offer. Is this is one of the driest years that we've had. October just not being real cooperative to our deer hunters, is it? Y'all do what you got to do. All right, as we look at this, let's go to the tropics to pull this up. Nothing that is threatening the Gulf Coast area. That's what I've got good to tell you out of this. We got a tropical depression that's sitting out here that's been named 12. 35 miles an hour, moving west-northwest at 13 miles an hour. Nothing serious there. Now, this is going to miss us. This is not going to make it to the Gulf. Headed this way into 90% chance. But if you'll look at that pattern, no threat to the Gulf. That's good. We hate it for anyone to get it. But Florida definitely doesn't need anything else. It's Fort Myers, Tampa, those areas are in bad shape. Now, let's talk about fishing today. We team up with Chet's Paint and Body to find out what's going to happen. 10:30 today, be out on the water. Should be great. It'll last until right after lunch. You can play hooky till about 1 there. As we look to the wind to be calm, becoming north-northwest around 5 o'clock by the afternoon. Not bad, but that'll be your best time today, about 10:30 to hit the water, take the boat, and go on out. Joanne Walker, how are you? Good morning. Glad to see you there. Sydney Pickett is up. Lonnie Timms. Deborah Rawson, good to see you there. Lynn? Thank you, Lynn. I appreciate that. Tad Dean is up also as we glance around. Rhonda on the road to Bunkie, Louisiana. Baton Rouge area there. Ooh, I cannot stress to you about that bridge. Be careful in that traffic when you get to Baton Rouge. It gives me, I'm not going to lie about it. When I get there, when all that, especially if you're coming back to Mississippi from Texas and you cross over, y'all know what I'm talking about, Baton Rouge, you come over that bridge and it's, what do? Nobody wants to get over. Nobody wants to let you in. Don't happen in zero like that, does it? No, it doesn't. But if you've ever traveled through Baton Rouge, be on your P's and Q's at that bridge. It is a mess when you get there. Be cautious and be careful there. A lot of the folks are up. Glad to see y'all there. We see that Laura Lee tells us homecoming October 9th at Mount Horeb Baptist Church on Zero Road. Service begins at 11. Hope y'all can get out and support them. Already 6:59. Where's the last 30 minutes gone? Boom, it was over like that. Now we're headed to television next. 8 a.m., 1 hour, 30 seconds from now, we'll be live in your living room on your TV, or you can come right back here. We love to see the comments at Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Any of those. Scotty Ray Report. You can find us on YouTube, sammedia.network. Join us. Need to add some more people there for backup. Thank y'all. We'll see you back in just a few moments. Thanks for dropping by and being a part of this as we start your day for you here at the Scotty Ray Report.
The Scotty Ray Report is brought to you by our following partners: